Here in Korea, labor and management began a fierce tug-of-war over next year's minimum wage on Tuesday, with labor representatives seeking an increase of more than 16% and management representatives pushing for a wage freeze. For more on this, we're joined today by Dr. Kim Junmo, professor at the Department of Public Administration at Konkuk University. Professor Kim, thanks for coming on today.
My pleasure.
So this wide gap between labor and management is expected to make negotiations very challenging. How do you view the demand from both sides, and what impact could the final decision have on employment and the overall Korean economy?
The two hot issues on the table have been, first, whether we can have sectoral difference in the minimum wage, and second, how steep can we increase minimum wage? The first issue did not get consensus at previous sessions, so last night's session was on the increased rate. Labor side claimed 12,000 hourly wage level, while business side showed about 10,301 level. So there was huge difference. And since they didn't get the settlement, future sessions will reach the settlement anyway. And when the settlement is made, the minimum wage level will be higher than the existing level. So as an aftermath, small business owners, low profitable service sectors and firms will be quite cautious in hiring. And as a secular trend, they may introduce more machines at an increased velocity. So the fundamental issue is how we can boost the productivity level of the Korean economy itself so that minimum wage discussion will be less burdensome.
Right, and the EU administration has been working to tackle inflation. So how should the government balance its goal of raising workers' incomes with its commitment to stabilizing prices?
In general, increasing minimum wage complicate the inflation control, but there are bigger triggers of inflation, namely international wars and supply chain issues, U.S. interest rate hikes, domestic investment and productivity growth issues, domestic money supply and fiscal policy. All these factors are big triggers of inflation. So taking this as a backdrop, because we had minimum wage issue for some time, so this is not a direct hurdle. Rather, the increased speed, the speed of increase in relation to other economic factors would be critical.
I see. And how does South Korea's minimum wage compare with other major economies?
In fact, Korea's minimum wage level is not that low. Economists use a ratio of minimum wage to median wage and taking about 60% as upper limit guideline. So in this figure, G7 country average is like 49%, while Korea's figure is already at 60% level. So it's not that low. And if you look at the real tax rate for this income bracket, Korea has 11%, comparable to 14% of France, much lower than that of Germany that has 30%. If labor side argument of 12,000 won minimum wage rate had been accepted last night, it could translate into 2.5 million monthly wage, and that can be converted to nearly 20,000 US dollars, reflecting foreign exchange rate right now. So it is higher than that of Germany, Japan, and Canada, lower than UK and France. So our level is never low at this moment. So the conclusion is how to boost and maintain and sustain the productivity level of Korea. That will be the key issue.
Right. And meanwhile, political debate continues over raising the retirement age with labor unions increasing pressure on the government and the ruling party to move forward with legislation. How do you view this debate?
It's a hot potato. Not only raising the retirement age, but also offering more job opportunities to younger generation, 20-30 people, is urgent. One interesting observation is that raising retirement age has strong labor union backups, while the younger generation issue is not concerned or less strong backups by labor union. But from government's point of view, it's critical to have fine balance between the two against the tides of technological change, because in the labor market, we have new phenomenon such as platform workers who are not well protected. We have very short-term employment practices, and the technology itself is becoming obsolete. For example, coding capability was believed to guarantee one's lifetime job opportunities until a few years ago, but it is no longer the truth. So it's a quite interesting observation to see how government can handle this issue and making a fine balance between the two.
Right. We'll have to see how that goes. All right, Professor Kim, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.